Good morning. And this morning is slightly different. Instead of a sermon from me, I'm reading an extract from a little booklet entitled, What's the Point? It's probably better than a sermon from me, actually. And the question this morning is, did Jesus rise from the dead? Did he really rise? Because when you think about it, from a human point of view, someone rising from the dead seems impossible. Once you're dead, you're dead. That's it. But there was no doubt about it. Jesus was dead. And when the Romans carried out an execution, they made sure that the person was really dead. In fact, one of the soldiers stuck a spear into the heart of Jesus just to make sure. There was no doubt about it. Jesus was buried. A man called Joseph from the town of Arimathea, with a friend, took the dead body of Jesus and laid it in a tomb carved out of rock, presumably reserved for himself. A huge stone was then rolled over the entrance to guard the tomb, and a guard was posted too. Jews and Romans alike all knew Jesus was dead and buried. As far as they were concerned, he was well and truly out of the way. Even the friends of Jesus knew he was dead. They'd seen him die and be buried in the tomb. The women even prepared spices to anoint the body and went to the tomb on the third day. Then came the terrible shock. The body was gone. The grave clothes were still there, but the tomb was empty. So what had happened to the body of Jesus? That's a very important question. There was no doubt about it. The tomb was empty. Everyone concerned knew which tomb it was. There could be no mistake about it. Did the Jewish or Roman authorities take the body? If they had, then they would certainly have produced it when the friends of Jesus claimed that he was risen and alive. Did the friends of Jesus take the body? The tomb was guarded by soldiers, and the disciples were frightened, broken people. There's no way that they would later have risked their lives proclaiming that Jesus was alive, when all the time they knew it was a lie, and when all the time they knew where his body was rotting away. If the body of Jesus was not taken by his enemies or his friends, there can only be one possible answer to the question. God raised Jesus from the dead. Nothing else explains the many appearances of Jesus. For 40 days he appeared to his friends, usually in broad daylight in a variety of places, in a room, on a road, by the sea. Sometimes it was to a single person, sometimes to twos and threes, sometimes to the 11 disciples, and sometimes to crowds of them, even to 500 all at once. These appearances cannot simply be explained by hallucinations. He met them, he talked with them, he even ate with them. They could see him and touch him. He wasn't a ghost. He was the same Jesus they had seen dying on the cross. The marks of that terrible death were still there on his hands, feet, and side. He was the same, yet different. He now had a resurrection body, not subject to time and space. Nothing else explains the incredible change in the disciples. They'd been scared out of their wits, totally disillusioned, complete failures, shattered by the unexpected death of Jesus. But now they became people full of joy and confidence. They went to the marketplaces, fearlessly proclaiming that Jesus was risen from the dead and alive again, the conqueror of death and sin. This was why they knew that Jesus was far more than just an ordinary man, that he was God. And that was why the Christian faith spread so far and so fast, and why millions of people from all backgrounds, countries, and cultures worship Jesus as Lord today. He's alive, and they know it in their own experience. Amen.
Thank you once again for joining us for another Sofa Sermon. Please do hit that like button below, comment, subscribe, let us know what you thought, and we'll hope to see you next Tuesday. Thanks once again for watching, and don't forget to get us on Facebook at Grimsby Nazarene. See you next week.